It was an old doctor of mine.
Probably my parents were the first who ever explained it to me in a way that I could understand it. And it was probably so that I could understand there were certain things I could and couldn't do.
I was about 12 when I found out. I was kind of shy, kind of not knowing what my disability was.
I was 3.5 when I started occupational therapy, and I used an occupational therapist at the time who worked out of her home. And she was teaching her 18-month-old son and me at the same time on how to butter bread, and he mastered it first. And very simply, that's what I got it, that, okay, something's different.
I'm independent. I do my own thing. I don't really get a lot of help. I do things myself. I used to have to depend on people to get me to Capital till I was learning how to catch the bus to Capital. Then they showed me 2 or 3 times. They don't need to show me that many times how to do it. And I got it down, remember the stops. Then learn how to learn the new buses, clock in. They be happy when I come in.
Well, I know a lot of I know facts most adults don't know, many adults don't know. Here's an example. Like archaeopteryx was the missing link between dinosaurs and modern birds.
I think what makes me unique is that there aren't that many lawyers in the trial law field with the number of disabilities I have. Number 2, as an individual with Asperger's, normally you see us behind the scenes, doing research, doing other projects, working in a variety of areas, but you often don't see them in a social component. And I think that's different. I think that there needs to be more opportunities for individuals with Asperger's to be in the forefront instead of always in the background, and I think it makes me stand out a bit. There really isn't a specific way. I just try and get to know the person, and then I will openly say, hey, just so you know, for your knowledge, there are a lot of things I'm really good at. And I try and stay in the positive first, but there are certain things that I'm not going to be able to do. I will say that normally in the interview. I won't put it on the personal statement, but I'll say it in an interview and explain, these are my strengths. I can read, I can research, I can do this, but these are what I can't do. Or like they might ask, well, do you want to drive due? Well, I don't drive due to disability, and then I'll go into it and explain why. You can't advocate for yourself if you don't know who you are. And very simply, you have to understand, okay, I want to fit in, I want to be normal, but I need these accommodations. I've tried it where I didn't self-disclose, and it was a disaster in which I was constantly having problems at work with getting in assignments and that because I didn't have the extra time. I didn't have the organizational skills. I didn't have the organizational help. Like, I can do your legal arguments. I can explain things. I can draft documents. I can't use a paperclip. Using a copier is very difficult, and I can't drive a car. So I'm going to have to accept the fact that I'm different. And with the self-advocacy, to be able to truly advocate for yourself, you have to be able to say, no, I'm not able to do this. It's not I don't want to. It's not that I'm not trying. It's I'm actually unable. And that's very hard if you don't have the awareness of what if you don't have the awareness of what your diagnosis is and to truly understand and accept it, you can't advocate for who you are.
Hand-on work job.
Hands-on?
Hands-on.
Lifting?
Lifting, no paperwork, no sitting behind the desk. I don't like sitting that long anyway. I like to move around and help others.
As for how I got interested in law, I was about 7 years old when I decided my career. probably for about 3 reasons. One, my cousin had just graduated from the University of Michigan Law School, and I thought that was a really, really cool thing to do. 2, I knew that I had to have something, a field that educationally was going to not just challenge me, but that I'd be able to do. I knew that my hands and my body would prevent me from doing certain careers and certain ways of certain jobs, so I knew I had to have something with an academic base. And also, I just found it pretty interesting because I'm a huge history buff, and law is all about legal precedent and history, and I always thought that was kind of cool.
It was always clerical work. That was kind of my dream. And now I have it.